Most people spend their lives chasing success, as though it exists somewhere outside of them. They believe that the next promotion, the larger paycheck, the better title, or the perfect opportunity will finally make them feel successful. But there is a fundamental misunderstanding hidden inside that belief. Success is not something you find. It is something you become. Before the world recognizes your potential, you must recognize it yourself. Before your circumstances change, your thinking has to change. The greatest transformation in life does not begin with a new job, a new business, or a new relationship. It begins with a new identity. Think about the way people describe themselves. Some say, "I'm just not confident." Others believe, "I'm not the type of person who succeeds." Or, "I've always struggled with discipline." These statements may seem harmless, but they become invisible instructions that guide future behavior. Every action we take is connected to the story we believe about who we are. If someone believes they are unreliable, they will find reasons to quit. If someone believes they are capable of learning, they will keep trying even after failure. Identity always influences behavior more powerfully than temporary motivation. This is why lasting change never starts with asking, "What do I want to achieve?" It starts with asking, "Who do I want to become?" That single question shifts your focus from chasing results to building character. Instead of trying to look successful, you begin practicing the habits of a successful person. Instead of waiting to feel confident before taking action, you act in ways that gradually build confidence. Your identity is shaped not by what you say you believe, but by what you repeatedly choose to do. Every decision becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. When you keep your promise to wake up early, you reinforce the identity of someone who is disciplined. When you continue learning instead of making excuses, you strengthen the identity of someone who grows. When you choose integrity even when no one is watching, you become someone others can trust. These small moments rarely make headlines, but they quietly create the foundation of extraordinary lives. Many people underestimate the power of these daily choices because they are looking for dramatic breakthroughs. They expect transformation to happen overnight. In reality, meaningful success is usually invisible before it becomes visible. The roots of a strong tree grow deep underground long before anyone admires its height. In the same way, your character develops long before your achievements attract attention. The world often celebrates the result without ever seeing the years of quiet preparation behind it. There will be seasons when your effort seems unnoticed. You may work hard without immediate rewards. You may improve without receiving recognition. Those moments test whether your identity depends on applause or on conviction. If your confidence comes only from external validation, every setback will shake you. But if your confidence comes from knowing the person you are becoming, you will continue moving forward even when progress feels slow. A timeless prayer captures this truth beautifully. Lord, help me become the person you created me to be. Give me wisdom when I face uncertainty, courage when I face fear, humility when I experience success, and perseverance when I grow tired. Shape my character so that my actions reflect integrity, compassion, and purpose every day. This kind of prayer is not about asking for instant success. It is about asking for inner transformation, trusting that the right actions will follow from the right heart. When your identity changes, your priorities begin to change as well. You stop asking what is easy and start asking what is right. You stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your own potential. You become less interested in proving your worth and more committed to living your values. Ironically, this is often the moment when genuine success begins to appear, not because you were chasing recognition, but because your character naturally produced excellence. The world is full of people trying to change their circumstances while ignoring the beliefs that created those circumstances. Lasting success moves in the opposite direction. It starts from within. It begins with the decision to become someone who learns continuously, acts consistently, serves generously, and refuses to let temporary failures define a permanent identity. When you become that person, achievement is no longer something you desperately pursue. It becomes the natural outcome of the life you have chosen to build. There is a common belief that motivation is the secret to accomplishing great things. People wait to feel inspired before they begin. They hope that one day they will wake up with enough energy, confidence, or excitement to finally pursue their dreams. But motivation is unpredictable. It rises and falls with circumstances, emotions, and even the quality of our sleep. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your commitment will disappear the moment life becomes difficult. What carries people through challenges is not a temporary feeling. It is a clear sense of purpose. Purpose answers one of the most important questions a person can ever ask. Why does this matter? When that question has a meaningful answer, discipline becomes far more sustainable. You no longer work hard because you feel like it. You work hard because your actions are connected to something greater than your comfort. A meaningful purpose transforms ordinary effort into intentional progress. Think about the difference between someone who simply wants success and someone who knows exactly why success matters. One person may want financial security because it sounds appealing. Another may want financial security because they want to provide opportunities for their family, support people in need, or create something that improves the lives of others. The goal may appear similar on the surface, but the reason behind it creates an entirely different level of commitment. Purpose gives discipline emotional strength. This becomes especially important during difficult seasons. Every worthwhile journey includes moments of disappointment, uncertainty, and failure. There will be days when results are slow, opportunities disappear, or unexpected setbacks interrupt carefully planned goals. During those moments, excitement alone is rarely enough to keep moving, but purpose reminds you why the journey began. It becomes an anchor when emotions are unstable and circumstances are unpredictable. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment or restriction. In reality, discipline is an expression of commitment. Every time you choose what is important over what is convenient, you strengthen your ability to create the future you desire. Discipline is not about saying no to life. It is about saying yes to what matters most. Purpose makes those daily decisions clearer because it constantly reminds you of the bigger picture. This is why successful people often focus more on values than on outcomes. Goals provide direction, but values determine how you travel. A goal may motivate you for a season, but purpose built on strong values continues to guide your decisions long after the excitement fades. It shapes how you respond to success, how you recover from failure, and how you treat others along the way. Success that lacks purpose can leave people feeling empty, while success connected to meaningful service creates lasting fulfillment. There is also a deeper dimension to purpose that goes beyond personal ambition. Many people discover that their greatest sense of meaning comes when their work benefits others. Whether leading a team, raising a family, teaching, building a business, or serving a community, purpose grows stronger when it extends beyond self-interest. When your efforts contribute to something larger than yourself, discipline becomes an act of responsibility rather than obligation. A simple prayer reflects this perspective. Lord, guide my steps with wisdom and keep my heart focused on what truly matters. When I grow tired, remind me of the purpose you have placed before me. Give me strength to remain faithful in small responsibilities, courage to continue through challenges, and humility to use every success to serve others. This prayer shifts attention away from immediate rewards and toward lasting significance. It reminds us that purpose is not only about achieving more, but also about becoming someone whose life positively influences others. Purpose also protects us from becoming distracted by comparison. It is easy to lose focus when constantly measuring our progress against someone else's achievements. But when you know your purpose, you stop competing with every person around you. Instead, you become committed to fulfilling the unique responsibilities and opportunities that have been placed in your own path. Your energy is no longer consumed by proving yourself. It is invested in improving yourself. The people who leave the greatest impact are rarely those who depended on constant inspiration. They are the ones who continued showing up long after excitement disappeared. They understood that motivation starts the journey, but purpose sustains it. They built habits that reflected their values, remained committed through uncertainty, and trusted that consistent effort would eventually produce meaningful results. In the end, purpose gives discipline a reason, and discipline transforms purpose into reality, one faithful decision at a time. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is the belief that the path should always feel comfortable. Many people assume that if they have chosen the right direction, everything will unfold smoothly. When difficulties appear, they begin to question themselves, their abilities, or even their purpose. But discomfort is not always a warning sign that you are on the wrong path. Very often, it is evidence that you are growing beyond the limits of who you used to be. Every meaningful transformation requires leaving behind the familiar in order to embrace something greater. Growth has a way of challenging every part of us. It stretches our thinking, tests our patience, and exposes weaknesses we did not realize existed. This can feel uncomfortable because our minds naturally prefer certainty. We like routines that make us feel safe, environments we already understand, and outcomes we can predict. Yet, nothing remarkable is created by remaining in a place where there is no challenge. Progress begins where certainty ends. Think about learning any valuable skill. Whether it is leading a team, speaking in front of an audience, starting a business, or mastering a profession, the beginning is rarely impressive. Mistakes happen. Confidence feels fragile. Results are inconsistent. It is tempting to interpret those early struggles as proof that we are not capable. In reality, they are proof that we are learning. Every expert was once a beginner who chose not to let temporary discomfort become a permanent excuse. Failure, when understood correctly, becomes one of life's greatest teachers. It provides information that success alone cannot offer. It reveals weaknesses that need attention, assumptions that need correction, and opportunities for improvement that would otherwise remain hidden. The problem is not that people fail. The problem is that many people attach their identity to failure instead of treating it as feedback. One disappointing outcome does not define your future unless you allow it to define your thinking. Resilience is developed in these moments. It is easy to remain positive when everything is going well. Real resilience is built when circumstances become difficult, and you choose to continue anyway. Each obstacle strengthens qualities that comfort can never produce. Patience grows through waiting. Courage grows through fear. Wisdom grows through experience. Character grows through perseverance. These qualities cannot be purchased or inherited. They are formed through the challenges we often wish to avoid. This perspective changes the way we view obstacles. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin asking, "What is this experience teaching me?" That simple shift transforms frustration into curiosity. Every setback becomes an opportunity to develop new skills, improve decision-making, and deepen emotional maturity. Difficult seasons stop being interruptions to success and become part of the process that prepares us for greater responsibility. There is also a spiritual lesson hidden inside seasons of discomfort. Growth often requires trusting even when we cannot see immediate results. A simple prayer expresses this beautifully. "Lord, when the road becomes difficult, help me remember that challenges are not meant to destroy me but to strengthen me. Give me courage when fear whispers that I should quit. Grant me wisdom to learn from every mistake, patience to trust your timing, and faith to keep moving forward even when the destination is not yet visible. Shape my character through every trial so that I emerge stronger, kinder, and wiser than before. Comfort may protect us from temporary pain, but it can also keep us from discovering our true potential. The greatest opportunities often exist on the other side of uncertainty. The conversation you are afraid to have, the responsibility you hesitate to accept, the skill you believe is beyond your ability, or the dream you have delayed because of fear may all represent the next stage of your growth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to move forward despite it. Over time, you begin to realize that confidence is not something you gain before taking action. Confidence is something you earn by repeatedly facing situations that once intimidated you. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence that you are capable of handling the next one. Your belief in yourself grows not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. The people who create lasting success are rarely those who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who welcome learning, accept temporary failure without surrendering their vision, and continue growing through every season of uncertainty. They understand that challenges are not obstacles standing in the way of success. More often than not, they are the very path that leads to it. When you embrace discomfort as a necessary part of growth, you stop fearing the process and begin appreciating the person you are becoming through it. Many people spend their lives waiting for one extraordinary moment that will change everything. They imagine that success arrives through a single opportunity, one brilliant idea, or one life-changing decision. While those moments can certainly matter, they are rarely the reason someone achieves lasting success. More often than not, extraordinary lives are built through ordinary choices made consistently over time. The small decisions that seem insignificant today eventually shape the future in ways that are impossible to see in the present. Consider how habits are formed. No one becomes healthier because they exercised once. No one becomes financially secure because they saved money one time. No one becomes a trusted leader because they acted with integrity for a single day. Character, knowledge, and success are built through repetition. Each action may appear too small to matter on its own, but together they create a powerful pattern that defines who we become. This is both encouraging and challenging. It is encouraging because it means you do not have to change your entire life overnight. You only need to make the next right choice. It is challenging because it removes the excuse of waiting for the perfect moment. Every day presents opportunities to move closer to the person you want to become or further away from that vision. Your future is quietly being shaped by the decisions you make when no one is watching. Small actions often seem invisible because their results are delayed. Reading 10 pages of a good book may not make you noticeably wiser tomorrow, but over the course of a year, it can completely change your thinking. Choosing to speak with kindness during a difficult conversation may not immediately repair a relationship, but repeated acts of patience build trust over time. Saving a small amount of money every week may feel insignificant at first, yet years later, it becomes evidence of discipline and foresight. Success grows through accumulation rather than sudden transformation. This is why consistency is more valuable than occasional intensity. Anyone can work hard for a day or remain motivated for a week. The real challenge is maintaining faithful effort when excitement has faded and progress appears slow. Consistency requires commitment because it asks you to continue doing the right thing long before the rewards become visible. It teaches you to value the process instead of becoming obsessed with immediate results. One of the greatest obstacles to consistency is comparison. We live in a world where people often celebrate achievements without showing the years of preparation behind them. It becomes easy to believe that others advanced quickly while we are falling behind. Yet every meaningful journey follows its own timeline. Comparing your beginning to someone else's middle or ending only creates unnecessary discouragement. The better question is not whether you are ahead of someone else, but whether you are becoming better than you were yesterday. Daily choices also reveal what we truly value. It is easy to talk about dreams, goals, and ambitions. It is much harder to organize our daily schedule around them. Our calendar, our habits, and our priorities often tell a more honest story than our words. If something is genuinely important, we will gradually make room for it through intentional action. Success is not simply the result of what we desire. It is the result of what we consistently practice. There is a meaningful prayer that reflects this truth. Lord, help me remain faithful in the small things. Give me the wisdom to make good decisions today instead of waiting for perfect circumstances tomorrow. Teach me to value steady progress over quick results, to remain patient when growth feels slow, and to trust that every act of integrity, kindness, and diligence is preparing me for greater responsibility. Strengthen my heart so I never grow weary of doing what is right. Patience becomes an essential companion to consistency. Seeds do not become trees overnight, and meaningful dreams do not become reality in a single season. Growth often happens quietly beneath the surface before it becomes visible to the world. During those hidden seasons, it is easy to doubt whether your efforts matter. But every disciplined choice strengthens your foundation. Every lesson learned makes you wiser. Every challenge overcome prepares you for opportunities that require greater maturity. Eventually, what once seemed like small, ordinary actions begin producing extraordinary results. People may look at your accomplishments and call you fortunate, gifted, or exceptionally talented. What they often fail to see are the countless mornings you chose discipline over comfort, the evenings you chose learning over distraction, the moments you chose honesty over convenience, and the days you continued working even when no one noticed. Those unseen choices become the visible success others admire. In the end, remarkable lives are not created by rare moments of greatness. They are created by ordinary people making intentional decisions every single day. Each choice is like placing another stone in the foundation of your future. When those stones are laid with purpose, integrity, patience, and consistency, they eventually support a life that appears extraordinary, and not because of one dramatic breakthrough, but because of thousands of faithful decisions made one day at a time. No one succeeds entirely alone. We often admire individuals who have achieved remarkable things, but behind every meaningful accomplishment is a network of relationships that shaped their thinking, challenged their assumptions, encouraged their growth, and supported them during difficult seasons. Whether we realize it or not, the people we spend the most time with influence the way we see ourselves, the choices we make, and the future we create. Success is not only about developing the right habits, it is also about surrounding yourself with the right influences. Human beings naturally adapt to their environment. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, avoid responsibility, and expect failure, and it becomes easier to adopt the same mindset without even noticing. Negativity has a subtle way of lowering expectations. It convinces people that dreams are unrealistic, growth is unnecessary, and effort is pointless. Over time, limiting beliefs begin to feel like undeniable facts simply because they are repeated often enough. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who value learning, integrity, perseverance, and personal responsibility, their attitudes begin to shape your own. They challenge you to think differently. They ask better questions instead of offering excuses. They celebrate progress instead of comparing achievements. They remind you that setbacks are temporary and that growth is always possible. Their influence extends far beyond words because their daily actions become living examples of what commitment looks like. This does not mean surrounding yourself only with successful people in the traditional sense. Success is not measured solely by wealth, titles, or recognition. Some of the most influential people you will ever meet may never appear on a stage or receive public applause. They are the teachers who believe in your potential before you believe in yourself. They are the parents who demonstrate sacrifice without expecting recognition. They are the friends who speak truth with kindness, encourage you during difficult moments, and hold you accountable when you lose focus. Their character becomes a quiet source of strength that shapes your own. Relationships also reveal the importance of humility. No one has all the answers. Every person has blind spots that can only be recognized through honest feedback. A wise individual welcomes constructive correction because they understand that growth often begins with listening. Pride isolates people from learning, while humility opens the door to continuous improvement. The strongest leaders are not those who pretend to know everything. They are those who remain teachable throughout their lives. Equally important is becoming the kind of person others benefit from knowing. It is easy to focus on finding encouraging, trustworthy, and inspiring relationships, but meaningful friendships are built on mutual contribution. Ask yourself whether your presence brings hope or discouragement, encouragement or criticism, wisdom or confusion. Healthy relationships grow stronger when both people are committed to helping each other become better rather than simply making each other feel comfortable. There is also a deeper spiritual perspective on relationships. Every meaningful connection is an opportunity to practice compassion, patience, forgiveness, and generosity. A simple prayer captures this beautifully. Lord, surround me with people who encourage wisdom, integrity, and courage. Help me recognize relationships that strengthen my character and give me discernment to step away from influences that lead me away from my purpose. Teach me to be a source of encouragement, kindness, and truth for others. Let my words build confidence, my actions reflect compassion, and my life inspire those around me to pursue what is good. The environment you create extends beyond people. It includes the books you read, the conversations you engage in, the ideas you consume, and the habits you practice every day. Your mind is constantly being shaped by what you repeatedly allow into it. If you fill your thoughts with negativity, fear, and constant distraction, your outlook will gradually reflect those influences. But if you consistently expose yourself to wisdom, thoughtful ideas, meaningful conversations, and opportunities to learn, your perspective expands and your confidence grows. There will also be moments when growth requires difficult decisions about certain relationships. This does not mean judging or rejecting people who are struggling. Compassion remains essential. However, it does mean recognizing the difference between helping someone grow and allowing their negativity to continually pull you away from your own purpose. Healthy boundaries are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of stewardship over the life, time, and potential you have been entrusted with. Ultimately, success is never just a personal achievement. It is deeply connected to the people who influence us and the influence we choose to have on others. The right relationships strengthen resilience, encourage wisdom, and remind us of our purpose when we begin to lose sight of it. As you continue your journey, choose companions who challenge you to become your best. Remain humble enough to learn from them, and strive every day to become someone whose presence leaves others stronger, wiser, and more hopeful than before. Many people believe leadership begins the moment they receive a title, manage a team, or gain authority over others. They imagine that influence is something granted by a position or earned through recognition. But true leadership starts long before anyone chooses to follow you. It begins with the way you lead yourself, the habits you build, the decisions you make, the promises you keep, and the values you live by form the foundation of every meaningful influence you will ever have. Before you can inspire confidence in others, you must first develop integrity within yourself. Self-leadership is the ability to direct your own thoughts, emotions, and actions toward a purpose, even when no one is watching. It means taking responsibility instead of making excuses. It means choosing discipline over convenience, honesty over comfort, and long-term growth over short-term satisfaction. These choices may seem private, but they quietly shape the kind of person others experience every day. People may listen to your words, but they will ultimately be influenced by your example. One of the greatest challenges of self-leadership is accepting personal responsibility. It is easy to blame difficult circumstances, unfair opportunities, or the behavior of others for where we are in life. While many obstacles are real and cannot be ignored, we still have control over how we respond to them. Responsibility does not mean pretending life is always fair. It means refusing to surrender your ability to choose your next step. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to solve your problems, you begin discovering the strength you already possess. Emotional discipline is another essential part of leading yourself. Every person experiences fear, frustration, disappointment, and uncertainty. These emotions are normal, but they should not become permanent directors of our decisions. A leader does not ignore emotions, nor do they become controlled by them. Instead, they learn to acknowledge what they feel while allowing wisdom and values to guide their actions. Responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively creates trust, stability, and confidence both within yourself and among those around you. Integrity is perhaps the clearest evidence of self-leadership. Integrity means your private choices align with your public words. It is doing what is right even when there is no applause, no reward, and no immediate benefit. Trust is built through consistency. Every kept promise, every honest conversation, and every responsible decision strengthens your credibility. Eventually, people begin to rely on your character because they know your actions reflect your values rather than changing with circumstances. Self-leadership also requires a commitment to continuous learning. The moment we believe we have nothing left to learn, growth begins to slow. Wise people remain curious. They ask thoughtful questions, seek constructive feedback, admit mistakes without defensiveness, and welcome opportunities to improve. Learning is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of humility and confidence working together. Those who continue growing personally become better equipped to serve others effectively. There is a meaningful spiritual dimension to this journey. A sincere prayer reminds us where lasting strength comes from. Lord, teach me to lead myself with wisdom before I attempt to lead anyone else. Help me remain faithful to my values when no one is watching. Give me the courage to accept responsibility for my choices, the humility to learn from my mistakes, the patience to grow through challenges, and the compassion to serve others with sincerity. Let my character speak louder than my words, and let every decision reflect integrity, kindness, and purpose. As you become more intentional about leading yourself, you begin to notice a remarkable change. You no longer seek influence by demanding attention. Instead, influence grows naturally because people trust what they consistently observe. They see someone who remains calm during pressure, dependable during uncertainty, and respectful even in disagreement. They recognize a person whose confidence is grounded not in pride, but in preparation and character. The impact of self-leadership reaches far beyond your own success. Families become stronger when parents lead themselves with patience and integrity. Organizations become healthier when leaders model accountability before expecting it from others. Communities improve when individuals choose service over selfishness. Every positive influence begins with one person deciding that personal character matters more than public image. At the end of the day, your greatest responsibility is not to control the actions of others, but to govern your own life with wisdom and purpose. Titles may come and go, recognition may rise and fall. Circumstances will continue to change, but character remains. When you faithfully lead yourself each day, you create a life that naturally earns respect, builds trust, and inspires others to pursue their own highest potential. That is the kind of leadership that leaves a lasting legacy, one built not on authority alone, but on the quiet strength of a life consistently lived with integrity. As you reflect on everything we have explored, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Success is not reserved for a fortunate few. It is not determined by where you started, the resources you possess, or the obstacles you have faced. Success begins with the decisions you make every single day. It grows through your identity, your purpose, your willingness to embrace discomfort, your daily habits, the people you choose to learn from, and your commitment to leading yourself with integrity. These are not theories meant to inspire for a moment. They are principles meant to transform a lifetime. The world will always offer distractions. It will encourage you to chase quick results, compare yourself with others, and measure your worth by temporary achievements. But real success follows a different path. It asks you to become the kind of person who remains faithful when no one is watching. It challenges you to keep learning when others stop growing, to keep serving when others seek recognition, and to keep moving forward when progress feels painfully slow. The greatest victories are often won long before anyone notices them, because they are first achieved within the heart and mind. There will be moments when you question your abilities. You will face unexpected setbacks, disappointments, and seasons that seem to produce more questions than answers. Do not allow those moments to define your future. Every challenge carries an opportunity to develop wisdom. Every failure contains a lesson that can strengthen your next attempt. Every difficult season prepares you for responsibilities you could not carry before. The road may not always be easy, but it will always have something valuable to teach those who are willing to keep walking. Remember that your life is built one decision at a time. You do not need to have every answer today. You only need the courage to make the next right choice, read one more page, learn one new skill, encourage one person. Keep one promise, make one honest decision. These seemingly ordinary actions become extraordinary when they are repeated with consistency over months and years. Your future is not shaped by one dramatic break, through as much as it is by thousands of faithful choices made with purpose. Take a moment to offer this simple prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the gifts, opportunities, and purpose you have placed within my life. Give me wisdom to make decisions that honor you, courage to continue when the path becomes difficult, patience to trust your timing, and humility to keep learning every day. Help me become a person of integrity whose actions reflect kindness, compassion, and faithfulness. May my success never be measured only by what I achieve, but by the lives I encourage, the hope I share, and the character I build. Guide my steps so that every challenge strengthens me and every victory reminds me to remain grateful. Amen. The success mindset that changes everything is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the very best version of the person you were created to be. When your character becomes stronger than your fears, when your purpose becomes greater than your comfort, and when your daily actions align with your deepest values, success stops being a distant destination. It becomes the natural result of the life you choose to live. Start today. Start where you are. Start with what you have. The journey ahead may be challenging, but the person you become along the way will always be the greatest achievement of all.